The Dark Triad is a term used to describe three distinct, yet related, personality traits: psychopathy, narcissism, and Machiavellianism. These three traits are often associated with negative behavior and consequences, but understanding the relationship between them and how they affect our behavior can be complex. Here on Mentality Frame, we'll be exploring the connection between the Dark Triad and its impact on behavior, delving into the differences between the three traits and how they can manifest in our lives. Understanding the differences between psychopathy, narcissism, and Machiavellianism and how they relate to the Dark Triad. Psychopathy is characterized by a lack of empathy or remorse, as well as impulsivity and callousness. People with psychopathic tendencies may act in a manner that is superficially charming but lacks genuine emotion or regard for others. Narcissism, on the other hand, is a form of extreme self-centeredness. People with narcissistic traits tend to have an inflated sense of their own importance, and an inability to recognize or empathize with the needs of others. Finally, Machiavellianism is characterized by a tendency towards manipulation, a focus on winning at any cost, and a disregard for the well-being of others. These three traits are considered to be dark because they all focus on selfishness, exploitation, and lack of empathy or regard for others. Although each trait can manifest itself differently, they all revolve around one central theme: the manipulation of others for one's own gain. When these traits are combined, they form the Dark Triad, which has been linked to a variety of negative behaviors, including workplace bullying and criminal activity. The link between childhood trauma and the development of Dark Triad traits. Childhood trauma has been linked to the development of Dark Triad trait. Studies have shown that individuals who have experienced childhood trauma, such as physical or emotional abuse, neglect, or unstable family environments, are more likely to exhibit traits associated with the Dark Triad. This may be due to the fact that these experiences can impact brain development and lead to maladaptive coping mechanisms, such as a lack of empathy and a focus on self-preservation. Understanding the link between childhood trauma and the development of Dark Triad traits is important for identifying and treating individuals who may be at risk of exhibiting these behaviors. By addressing underlying trauma and providing appropriate support and intervention, it may be possible to prevent or mitigate the development of these traits. Additionally, research has shown that the impact of childhood trauma on the development of Dark Triad traits may be exacerbated by other environmental factors, such as exposure to violence, substance abuse, or other forms of instability. These factors can create a cycle of trauma and negative experiences that further reinforce maladaptive coping mechanisms and can lead to more severe manifestations of the Dark Triad. How the Dark Triad traits can influence workplace behavior, criminal behavior, and impact relationships. The Dark Triad traits of psychopathy, narcissism, and Machiavellianism have been associated with a range of negative behaviors, including workplace and criminal behavior. People who display these traits often exhibit manipulative and aggressive behaviors, as well as being impulsive and lacking in empathy. In the workplace, individuals with Dark Triad traits can be difficult to work with due to their lack of consideration for other people's feelings and opinions. They can also be overly competitive and seek to gain an advantage at the expense of others, which can lead to conflicts in the workplace. They may also display a disregard for rules and regulations, resulting in unethical behavior and possible criminal activity. In relationships, individuals with Dark Triad traits can be controlling, exploitative, and emotionally abusive. They may take advantage of those around them, using manipulation tactics to get what they want. They can be charming and persuasive when it suits their purpose, but may also display anger and aggression when crossed. The presence of Dark Triad traits in an individual can have a significant impact on their behavior, leading to undesirable outcomes in both the workplace and in relationships. It is important to understand how these traits can manifest and how to manage them appropriately to avoid potential harm. Coping strategies for family members of individuals with Dark Triad traits. When dealing with an individual who exhibits the Dark Triad traits, family members may find it difficult to cope with their behavior. It is important to remember that this type of person cannot be changed and that the best way to cope is to create boundaries and manage expectations. Here are some strategies for family members to consider. 1. Create boundaries. Developing boundaries is essential when dealing with someone who has dark triad traits. Establishing boundaries will allow you to communicate your expectations and maintain a sense of control over the relationship. 2. Educate yourself. Taking the time to educate yourself on the dark triad traits and how they affect relationships can help you better understand the behavior of the person in question. This knowledge can give you insight into how to interact with them, as well as strategies for setting boundaries. 3. Take care of yourself. It is important to remember to take care of yourself first and foremost. It is natural to feel overwhelmed and drained when dealing with someone with dark triad traits, so make sure to practice self-care and seek professional help if needed. 4. Don't enable. While it is understandable to want to help and protect those we love, it is important not to enable negative behavior by making excuses or overlooking bad behavior. Setting firm boundaries and consequences for negative behaviors will help you maintain a healthy relationship. 5. Seek support. Talking to friends, family members, and/or a therapist can provide an outlet for your feelings, as well as give you a sense of validation and understanding. Receiving outside support can help cope with the stress of being in a relationship with someone who has dark triad traits. By following these strategies, family members of individuals with psychopathy, narcissism, and Machiavellianism traits can better cope with their situation. While the situation may feel overwhelming at times, it is important to remember that maintaining healthy boundaries and taking care of yourself first and foremost are key in managing such a relationship. Was the information provided helpful to you? If so, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Also, be sure to check out our previous videos, 7 Proven Strategies for Stress Management, and How to Build Stronger Bonds and Improve Communication for Couples. Your feedback and support are important to us and help us to create content that is valuable and relevant to you. Please share your experiences and thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for tuning in.